Welcome back, family. I'm Thatbaldbrutha, and today we're going to go over to a podcast called Too Personal, hosted by Joy Taylor and Taylor Rooks, where they have some conversations about modern dating and the way things have changed. Let's get into it.
Taylor,
What?
it has happened. As with anything in life, it will eventually reach your doorstep. Now, it didn't come inside my home, but it got close to a friend of mine's home. It was in their home. The splitting the bill conversation. What do we do? The men, do we pay for the men? When do we pay for the men? It has happened. It broke my heart because, Taylor and I pride ourselves on these not being our problems. And to be clear, they still are not my problems. But a friend of mine is on her dating journey.
Okay.
And she went out with a man twice. They had lovely dates. He paid for everything, wined and dined. Okay. 2 dates. On the third date, they spent a day together, ordered a bunch of things, had some drinks, had a good time. Really long day. So pretty significant bill. Let's call it a couple $100.
Okay.
Because she had to put her card down for this particular place. So when they went to pay, he was like, your card is down. And now she didn't speak up and ended up paying for the bill. They had plans for another date. He texted her the next day and was like, hey, I had a great time with you, but, I don't really see a long-term future with you. And so I don't really want to waste either of our times. I think you're great, but, I don't want to keep our date for next week that we had planned, which I think is very respectable. Most people just ghost. So whatever. So she's talking to me about it. She's like, but he did stick me with the bill. I was like, what are you talking about, stuck you with the bill? How did you leave paying? She's like, oh, I just froze. So I was like, just text him and say oh, okay, well, cool. Thank you for saying that. Whatever. Had a great time too. It's 3 dates. It's not the end of the world. I don't even know this person. But here's your split for Saturday. There's no possible way you he thinks that she's just paying for his presence.
Yeah, at minimum, just a split. Just can you send me your split?
If Taylor and I go to dinner, we split the bill. We just make our credit cards,
split it,
split the bill. That's it. And then we go about our day because Taylor ate and I ate, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
This is not complicated. He got upset, did not send her the split, and in fact went and sent her the receipts for the last 2 dates.
Basically saying I got the last 2 dates, so this one's on you.
This one's on you. 3 dates.
My honest answer is I see both sides of these things. I see him saying I paid for 2 of the dates. Maybe it was your turn to pay for the date. I believe in splitting things. I'm not saying that a woman doesn't need to be wined and dined. If a man is courting you, there's a part of taking you on dates and making you feel good and important and beautiful, making you feel taken care of. When I'm going on these dates, I am expecting that aspect of it. That's not what I'm saying. But if you are no longer going to be dating a person and you already paid for 2 dates, the idea of feeling as though you need to, show your love in that way kind of diminishes once you're no longer going to be dating that person.
Right, but he didn't pay for his half.
I'm just saying he would say, well, she didn't pay for her half.
Right, but the halves that she didn't pay for were with the intention of the courting and the taken care of part.
Right, but I'm saying now, but you're saying, but why is she paying for his?
Correct.
Yes, and that I agree with. That I agree with.
Even this date, he asked for. He asked her out. So even this date was your plan. I guess my shock is one, I did not think the men were actually in real life out here doing this.
I thought this was a myth.
I thought it was a myth. I thought
this was Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster.
Where's the evidence? And we would have seen this if this was happening. And I have to apologize to the girls out there. I did not know that the men were out here moving like this. And I just couldn't absorb that this actually happened because
for sure
not broke, okay, by any means whatsoever. Okay. He has money, he has a good job. He, by all accounts, was just a normal man out dating in the world. Nothing, he doesn't need to be fed. He doesn't need a roof over his head, any of these things. So there's just no actual natural built-in excuse for this other than, I guess the roles have changed. I guess the men are out here moving like this. And I'm cool with this, actually. I'm with Taylor. Like, I will split the bill. I will pay for the bill when we're together. If we're together, we're together. Like, you don't need to pay for everything I do. Of course
during
not.
the initial process, I don't know.
Because this is my opinion about this. And again, everyone can move how they want to move. I don't need to aspire to this. This is my experience. I want you to listen to me. I don't have these problems. My male friends pay for me. Men who take me out pay for me. Business people pay for me. It's not a flex. It's just the life I live. And then I pay for people, and I pay for my male friends, and I pay for my girlfriends, and I pay for myself, and I pay for my man. It's just money, okay? But I understand that that's my experience. So before you start telling me how I need to move, I already move like this. And I do. Okay? I guess I'm just like, if we're going to change the gender roles, like if we're going to bend these, which I'm for, I'm with it.
Yeah.
We can't keep talking about women like this. Y'all out here doing the same thing. You can't do it. We can't do it. We can't be talking about these women are scamming for meals. Y'all are scamming for meals. I can't do it. We have to keep the same energy, guys.
All right. So the first two words that pop into my head after hearing this story are equality and etiquette. Men know that in these dating streets, there is an expectation that when a man is courting a woman or dating a woman, that he is going to pay for the date, pay for the meal, what have you. But we also live in a day and age now where everybody's trying to make sure that people are treated equally across the board. Now, taking this situation for what it is, the guy went on 3 dates altogether. The guy paid for 2, she paid for 1. Now, the problem is that there's an expectation at the end of the date. So once you decide, be it he or you, the woman, decide you no longer want to see each other, the etiquette portion of dating is, that's it. Okay, move on, date somebody else, talk to somebody else, what have you. Men understand that the etiquette for dating in this day and age and days past is that you take your losses. There are inherent losses attached when it comes to dating. That's just what it is. You're going to have an experience, you're going to pay for a meal, and you may not see a return on that. Or the person may decide to go on about their business. But as men, we understand that's part of the game. We don't get caught up in the fact of, oh man, I did all this, I did all that, and she ain't pay for nothing. That's not the conversations we're having. Yes, we are pointing out women that happen to be out here scamming for meals because they out here doing that. This gentleman was appreciative of the fact that she was able to pay for the meal because it was a third date. Okay, there's nothing wrong with showing appreciation. Now, what I'm getting from the story is that her friend didn't really appreciate it. She just got caught up because she froze in the mix of him asking the question. Now, the problem at the end of it is, yeah, okay, you froze up. You didn't reach out and say anything to him to say, hey, can you cover this, or can you go ahead and pay for it? I only held the reservation. I wasn't looking to actually pay for the date. You could even throw in the stipulation that, oh, because you organized the date, you called for the date, or it was your idea for the date, so I think you should pay. Whatever the case, have that conversation. But you gotta take your loss. The point is, you take your loss. This is why the guy sent the receipts to you, not because to say, I paid for you, look at what I did. He's saying, oh, okay, so if you wanted to go, we want to do splitsies, then here's the receipts for what I did on our dates that I paid for. Since you want me to give you half of what I owe you, here's the receipts. You can do the math, and you can Zelle me the other half of what you owe me. He's only looking to even the board. See, he ended the relationship and said, ended the dating and said, hey, respectfully, I don't think it's going to work out. You, in your feelings, decided, wait a minute, I got stuck with a bill. You didn't get stuck with anything. You didn't speak up. You ate it. That's what it is. The same way when women break up with men or in the dating with men, we're left with, okay, well, it is what it is. So it's not about the rules changing. It's about how you want to see the rules and see the world through your respective lens. You have to understand that there's certain rules inherent to the game. If we're going to start going down that road and we're going to start operating like dating is like tantamount to marriage, and now we got to start having divorce proceedings and separation agreements to hammer out what I paid for was what you versus what you paid for, and you want your half and my half, where are we doing that at? That makes absolutely no sense. And I appreciate her providing clarity at the end, Joy and Taylor, saying that they understand how things go and they have no problem splitting bills and paying for their men or paying for their male friends and what have you. That's great. That's good. But I don't think this man was out here scamming for a meal, because most times that happens to a dude, it's the one meal, it's one date. Typically on the first date is when that happens, not 3 or 4 days in. Usually it's the first date and then the woman cuts it off after that. That's the ones that you could kind of throw in that category of possibly being out just for the meal. This brother was in 3 days in. So if he was scamming for a meal, he would have done that on day one. Why would he wait if that was the case? So we're not going to change anything around and start calling things different. We're not asking for the rules to change. She is expecting the rules to change. There's an entitlement that's underlying there as well. You feel that, oh well, because you got stuck, you have the right to ask for your money back. No. Dating is that's part of dating. And the fact that we got to get up here and explain this is beyond my comprehension, because that speaks to how often you actually go out on dates, or your understanding of how dating works and how relationships work. Because it's not always all one or all the other. Sometimes y'all come together and meet in the middle. It's okay to pay for your spouse or pay for your. Men already expected to pay for their wives. It's okay to pay for your spouse. It's okay to pay for your girl, or vice versa. It's okay to show appreciation. That's really what it boils down to as well. Showing appreciation for the fact that, okay, we're out dating. We went out on X amount of dates. All right, I'll take care of this one. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't speak to you as a woman saying you're less than a woman because you paid for one date. Get out of the ego situation. Let that all go. Respect the fact that this is how it goes. Men deal with it all the time. Folk will be broke if brothers started showing up with, okay, here is our separation agreement. We went on X amount of trips. We went on X amount of dinners, experiences, and your sum total, your 50% of that comes to this. Can you imagine the shit men would get if all we did was start sending screenshots of half the bill and half the debt that we accrue by taking somebody out on dates, and start sending that over? Oh, you don't want to see me no more? Okay, cool. Here, here's my Zelle. Give me this much in return for the half I spent on you. Oh, and folk will be losing their goddamn minds. But because it's a woman doing this, somehow we're going to try to make that make sense. Yeah, the math ain't mathing on that one. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. I appreciate you taking time to stop through and check out the video. If you want to check out more conversations like this, check out these videos over here and let me know your thoughts about those as well.